happy holidays. Outside, the snow is not snowing. The sun is shining so bright and so hot that it's probably still at least 90 where you're living, if not, the upper 80s. And while we are all pretending that we are excited to go and spend at least 2 or 3 grocery trips worth on presents, I just really wanted to come on here and talk about a couple of statements I want to make. Now, these are not judgments, these are statements. These are wholly based on what I have seen in my life and what I just wanted to chat about today. Now, 3 of these statements are really easy to make. The first one is, it is so hot, I cannot wear this thing anymore. Second statement is that this dress, barely on, but it was what I needed to create the ambiance of the holiday. The third statement is that I can't see anything without my glasses. There we go. That's better. Now, today we are talking about shopping, in essence, holiday shopping. And I'm going to put this napkin in between my hands when I hold your hand to tell you that there is a very good possibility that half of your presents are stolen. Now, again, this is a statement. This is not a judgment. I'm going to come in with some basic facts first about this subject, and then I'm going to tell you some personal experiences that I have with this. It's also too hot for me to continue to wear these gloves, so we are at least going to ditch one of them while I discuss this. Now, Alana, why on earth are you talking about this when what you do is make art? Well, as I have discussed before, I was an attorney, and the law and jurisprudence in our general community is still very much always present on my mind. You don't undo all of the trauma that comes with becoming an attorney without being able to not turn that part of your brain off. I don't know if I've verbalized that well, but you get what I'm saying. My brain is always working and I'm always thinking about these sorts of things. So, especially as it relates to the holiday season, I find it important for me to discuss the things that are on my mind. And trust me, there's a lot of things we could be talking about right now, but I think the most important is the holiday shopping aspect. It doesn't matter when I filmed this, but when it's going up online, it's going to be Black Friday, which is something that I used to do very long time ago when my mom was still alive. I do not participate in Black Friday anymore, just because, we are in peak post-capitalist hellscape. Let's be frank. At least as it comes to surveys, there's a lot of information that is available. There's a lot of information that I understand is not being taken into account in surveys and in data collection as a whole. Trust me, I get that. But at least as it relates to the National Crime Victimization Survey, December is when small crimes, petty larceny, robbery, increased to the point of 20%. And I believe we have all experienced having someone come onto our porch and stealing our deliveries, in essence. And that's absolutely a correlatable piece of data that you could go and look up if you wanted to. One of my favorite things to ingest information through is visuals, obviously. So there's a really beautiful graph that has been created that shows, the last 30-ish or so years as it relates to crime. So I think I can do this from your view for it to make sense. If we're looking at the 90s to 2020 in essence, in the 90s, crime actually had a really decent dip downward. So, there was a couple bumps here and there in this one specific survey. But as it relates to spikes, there was an enormous spike in robbery, especially when it came to 2020. What happened in 2020? Well, I don't know if you were here for this. I don't know if you remember. But the world went to hell. And it was every person in their own mindset for themselves. Community be damned, as we saw in America. You couldn't even ask your neighbor to put a mask on. So, sort of in the last 5 years is when I had noticed a lot of individuals starting to take account of this information, of of studies and surveys being done to try to comprehend what we were seeing happening in this huge rise in crime post 2020. And that is where, if you want to do your own Googling, you know, this is 5 minutes of me doing a Google search. You can go and do that on your own, but you're not here to listen to me regurgitate facts. You're interested into knowing what in the world I've seen in my life. So, one of the first memories I have with going Christmas shopping with my mom, I must have been in my mid-teens. I had just been given a purse for the first time, and what do you carry in your purse but the things you love? So I had this beautiful DS. It was a teal DS, and in the DS it had a matching case, and I had, you know, as many games as I could fit in that thing. And one of the first memories I have of Christmas shopping with my mother is someone stealing my purse. And you know, that was someone's Christmas present. I am sure, you know, that was a real nice thing that they stole. Gosh, I just remembered even before that, when I was 11 or so, we had gone somewhere during the holidays and someone broke into our car and stole absolutely everything they could. I guess that was foolish on us for parking somewhere when it was a holiday Christmas season. But that really, while that might be my own bias talking in that instance, that translates specifically to when I was practicing as a public defender. I practiced during the height of COVID and for a couple years after the fact. And let me tell you, a majority of my cases were petty thefts, were robberies, were larceny from big box stores and from personal individuals during the holiday season. Now, that's not to say that there wasn't individuals that were committing theft all year round. That is absolutely something that occurs. However, as it relates to thefts during the entirety of the year, you know, when it comes to, please excuse me, like food, when it comes to necessities, when it comes to this, that, and the other, there is a grand difference between going and stealing a bunch of groceries and diapers and baby formula, which I don't think we should be prosecuting. That's its own argument. And there is a very huge distinction in doing that as opposed to going into Macy's and stealing $500 worth of fill in the blank. I do want to just say shit, but I'm trying to be nice. Everyone has their own priorities, and I understand that, and I get that. And that concept from the 80s of greed is good truly is still alive today. Tried to find a good way to say it, and that's the goodest way I can say it. And it's really sad because I know that there is so much more to it than just this baseline statement that I am making. I fully understand that a lot of it has to do with wanting to keep up appearances in your social circles, with your family members, with the cultural zeitgeist, for sure. You know, everyone wants the newest electronic this, that, and what's my boobit. Everyone wants to have shiny, brand new clothes, and while all of that is commendable, at the end of the day, what does it really lend to your soul? What does it create within your memory of going and trying to rip off as many things as you can from Target before, you know, you hit the magic number to where they can actually go and prosecute you because they've got you on camera for doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm not necessarily arguing for not fighting against the man. If you know me in person, which I don't think really anyone on the internet knows the person I am at this point. If you know me as a person, however, you will know that I am very much against raging against the machine and creating a better tomorrow regardless of what is happening today. That is not what I am talking about right now. I am talking about the gentle depravity of our fellow man and how completely bottomless the greed has become. Now, yes, we have gotten very, very metaphorical. We have fallen into the trap of I don't know. I just want everyone to be doing better. I want everyone to start to create and make their own presence. I want people to become more aware of how and what they are interacting with their community and what they're expecting. It's time, and it's going to very soon be time for us to step away from that rampant materialism and consumerism that we have been in a chokehold of for, the last 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Perhaps the end of the Second World War, as we approach upon the Troisième. I don't know. I just wanted to get some of my obviously very biased thoughts and opinions out, because it matters. It matters if we're stealing our presence to give to one another, One of the biggest things that I had stolen, and it wasn't even mine, when I lived in Portland with my ex-spouse, on Christmas Eve, we had someone come onto our property when we were at their family's house and steal a chimera. Like a 4-foot tall chimera right off the front of, the stoop. And I just thought, damn, you really needed something that important? And obviously, doesn't matter at the end of the day. Things are things. Things are always things. It doesn't matter. But I suppose I just wanted to put this worm in your ear. Think about where your presents are coming from. Think about why you're acting in the way that you are acting when it comes to the concept of gift giving and community this year. Because it's only going to get more difficult to afford food, as well as the fun things like presents. So that's the end of my soapbox. Those are my statements turned into opinions. And they're still not even necessarily judgments. It is very much an earnest hope and an earnest wish that I have for there to be a better and healthier view of not only ourselves, but in how we interact with our communities and how we gift one another. Because gift is more than just things. Gift is attention. Gift is love. Gift is time. Gift is laughter. For sure. So be mindful of what you're doing, where you're going, where you are. Have a safe holiday season. Have a beautiful Yule and anything else you celebrate. Anything you want to add, Pylia? No. Nothing from the cat. Happy holidays. Merry New Year. Take care, guys.